Welcome to Identity Unlocked, your global portal to the dynamic world of IAM and PAM. I'm Robert Newton, your host, an experienced IAM and PAM recruiter who's seen the highs and the lows of identity management across the UK, EU, and the US. Today, we're crossing borders and joining forces with a leading expert from the heart of Copenhagen, Denmark. Joining me live is Kevin Kruse, the IGA lead for the Banking Circle, a fintech champion pushing the boundaries of global payments. Kevin, the floor is yours. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your role as an IAM lead.
Oh, hi, Rob, and thank you for inviting me to this one. Well, first of all, I love knowledge sharing, so I'm always excited about any chance to spread whatever meager knowledge I got on this subject. And in my many years of experience in the identity domain, I've picked up a few things here and there, but mostly I learned to disrupt best practice. Today, I'm a lead, IAM lead. I own the concept, design, system, and roadmap, and I have all the decision power in my current role.
Okay. All right. Well, fantastic, Kevin. Today, we're diving deep into a topic critical to every corner of the identity landscape, governance. In a world where access is everything, how do we ensure security, compliance, and more importantly, trust? Kevin, you've been tackling this challenge at the Banking Circle. What does effective IAM governance mean to you and your team?
Well, first of all, we all know that identities are one of the key pillars of security. Everything in security is governed through controls first and then technology. IGA is exactly that for identities where I come from.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Sorry. So fascinating. So let's unpack further. Kevin, so I have some probing questions lined up to explore the nuts and bolts of governance in action. We'll talk best practices, common pitfalls, and emerging trends, shaping the future of secure access. So first question, I'll let you take it away, Kevin. What is identity governance administration?
Well, first of all, cut down to one sentence. IGA is about governing your identity policies. And by governing identity policies, you look at controls like with security. At least that is what is supposed to mean. It is not what you see most do in the business. They run it as if what was IAM, automation first. That's not control.
Yeah.
So identity governance administration, at least in my book and what we have been done here in Banking Circle, is that we govern everything around identities, so we don't trust any sources.
Yeah.
Basically, we analyze every aspect of the journey of an identity. And just to highlight what identity policies is, because it's just such a simple word, right? But identity policies are at the same level as your corporate identities. They are usually owned and signed by the board of directors. So there's no one in the organization who is above identity policies.
Yeah.
And that is what you do. You make sure that you are the system to report the states of these policies. And one such policy could be, which is the most common policy in the entire industry in identity policies. Each and every person in the organization needs one digital identity.
Yeah. So that's almost the same as IAM, is it not?
Yeah, you can say that almost. And the fundamental difference is that IAM focuses around integrating to systems and manage systems. They are already integrated, so you can have offline systems. But IAM is not so much concerned about, for example, they do not own the data in the authoritative sources, for example. So they just conforms to whatever trusted sources provides them. It's not their responsibility to do all the controls parts. That's someone else. They can measure, hey, you got wrong data. Yeah, but that's because it's wrong in HR. Not the thing with identity and access management. With IGA, well, it is much more in the lines of reporting, measuring, analyzing first. So what is deviating from these standards? What is deviating from these policies that you have, and then start reporting upon that. Yes, You can do IAM with most of these tools, but it always comes down to do IAM on the things that do not deviate.
Okay, so if the IAM journey itself requires the organization to mature enough to be ready for it, it sounds like quite a long journey, does it not?
Indeed. I have been in an organization where it took years until you could actually deploy the first initial part, because everything in IGA is about ownership. Everything. Who owns identities? Who owns identities from one system? Who owns different identity types, locations, objects, accesses, systems, whatever. You cannot do any governance unless you actually know who is responsible of a certain thing. How would you make a process if the participants in that process or actors in that process is actually not aware that they have a responsibility to enact their responsibilities? So everything is about ownership. And that can be challenging in some organizations, especially if they've been very fluent, like if there's actually no clear owner of location data, then it's pretty difficult to actually do anything automated.
Okay, good insights there. So I can imagine that every large organization can struggle with some of these. How can you start that journey then?
Well, it's actually quite simple. Everyone can start with this. First of all, do you have identity policies? If not, you need to formalize identity policies. Without any policies, there's nothing to govern. Then you can do all the automation that you want. No one can audit you. Without a policy, no audits. So first of all, start with what has been written in the corporate policies. Then you start making your frameworks out of that. Okay, so everyone needs an identity. Okay, but what is an identity? Persons, anything consuming accesses. All of those exercises can easily be done in a spreadsheet. You don't need any particular tools to do that. When you start that journey, you at some point say, okay, now I would like to analyze what do we then have that can conform to these few policies I already identified. That is when you can actually say, okay, I could do that by just pulling out the data in spreadsheets or in a business intelligence tool, or I could buy an IGA product that could integrate to this. But any organization can start this without any prior knowledge or tools.
Yeah. Okay. So any organization basically can start this at any time with having to buy a product. I know you went into a little bit just then, just a little bit more about that would be great.
Yeah, indeed. First of all, governance is usually never a product thing. It's a business process. So someone in the business has a need for something, they start the governance. What do you do in finance? What do you do in other areas of, your procurement process needs to be governed, right? And there's usually not a product for that. So it always starts in the business level. So, well, I lost it there. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the pros and cons in regard these both of these options?
Okay, fair questions. Whether buying a product, an IGA product, or using any other analytics tool, then using whatever you have in-house is a very quick solution. It doesn't require any products, unless you don't have a product, of course. And right from the second that you actually aggregated data and you have that in some central system, you have already provided value, because you have provided an overview, a place where you can actually see what is actually in systems and not what someone guesses is in systems. Someone can have an opinion about how it should be, but what is the reality? You already have that the second that you integrate. What you don't have out of the box is all of those identity related semantics. Something that what an identity has properties. You can own accounts, you can own accesses. All of those object types or entity types is not out of the box on a normal business intelligence. You have to build that logic. You can start simple, but you don't have to. Buying an IGA product has all these analytics capabilities right off the box. it also have all these concepts already predefined.
Yep.
So you are mitigating that, but what you do miss, or what you do is actually, if you buy that, you lock yourself to a specific product. So you already locked yourself into the capabilities of that product, which might not at the end of the day be the best fit for your organization.
Okay. All right. Well, so could you combine both options for the benefits of both approaches?
Yes. And this is actually where my own experience comes into play, because what you can do is we call that a hybrid model. There is no reason why the analytics engine should necessarily needs to be the same as the technical engine that provisions or integrates or makes decisions inside target systems. So whatever tool you have that can analyze this data, there are dedicated identity analytics engines out there who doesn't have IAM capabilities, but nearly all of them can integrate to IAM tools that does not have any analytics capabilities. And then you can start with that. Start with the analytics part, and then whenever you find out about all the things you have, then you can buy into an IAM product and merge these two together and have IGA.
Perfect. Well, great stuff. Thanks, Kevin. Well, thanks for a thought-provoking journey, Kevin, there. Your insights on IAM governance has been simply invaluable. I'm sure our listeners across the UK, EU and US are taking away actionable strategies and fresh perspectives for their own teams. So as we wrap up, I just want to leave everyone with one key takeaway. Effective governance is the cornerstone of a secure and trustworthy identity landscape. It's not just about ticking boxes. It's about fostering a culture of accountability, embracing innovation, and staying ahead of the ever-evolving threat landscape. Remember, your identity program is only as strong as your governance framework. So continue the conversation, share your experiences, and keep pushing the boundaries of secure access. Thanks, Kevin, and thanks, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.